All right, I think the recording started.
Yep.
1212, folks. How are you? Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands. I'm back. I'm back. You know, it's been on a journey, all of this stuff. And, I talk about this person constantly, often in my videos, referencing this young man. And I finally wanted to bring him to the stage so you all can see, meet, hear him, and look at what his expertise can bring to you. Again, remember I talked about your network, your net worth is also your network. Well, I brought my network here. All right. This young man, I'll let you introduce yourself, sir. How are you today? Tell everybody who you are.
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me here. My name is Joshua, and like Philip said, we've been connected and we've been networking. And I appreciate the shout outs that he does in my videos. I try to comment on them. I do watch his videos, and being able to hear your name on a YouTube video on a platform like his is honestly an honor, and it's very much appreciated.
Absolutely, man. Now, so I'm just giving a shout out because he says no one ever shouts him out. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Let's get him up there, man. The Coach Greg Adams right now, man. We're gonna give him a shout out because that's where he brought us together, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, Coach. All right, Josh. So listen, man, you and I have had a long journey on how we do, and I'm gonna edify him. Young man came to me. I did a presentation, I think, on life insurance before.
Correct. Yeah.
And he paid attention.
Pay attention. Hey, boy, pay attention to me.
Was listening because, I'm a licensed insurance producer as well as a landowner. And this guy just checks off all the boxes and has done some mentoring, or I've mentored him in some ways. And it seems like I'm on to something. So he has an area of expertise that I'm very interested in as well. And I wanted to bring him up here so he could talk a little bit about that. And we all could take a moment to learn. So Josh, why don't you tell him, first of all, what area you representing? How old are you, man? Because I think people are going to be surprised about that.
Yeah. So I'm in New York, live in Manhattan, born and raised in Manhattan. And I'm 25 years old.
I'm from New York, New York.
All right, New York, stand up, man. My brother's up in New York. Shout out to him, man. He's in Staten Island. For anybody who knows, I used to live on Staten Island, so I went to college up there. WAG, stand up. Okay, so and what do you do? What is your expertise? Why are we up here talking? What are my subscribers, my viewers? What are you going to offer to them as far as in their net worth? Why do they want to network with you?
Sure. Yeah, what I do is I do digital marketing, specifically search engine marketing and search engine optimization. Essentially what those are is I basically help businesses generate traffic on their site, quality traffic, not just irrelevant, but traffic that is relevant to their business to generate leads and sales.
That boy is good.
All right. Okay, great. So let me ask, you said it's search engine optimization, and that what's the other acronym or whatever else? Because, in the medical industry, there's MDs, the job I work with, we got A&Ms, ROMs, M&Ms, So what is the
there's a lot of different acronyms.
What is it more commonly known as? Is it you said
there's a lot of names. So search engine marketing, SEM, and PPC.
PPC, not hold on. You mean like OPP or
not OPP.
Not PCP, not the illicit drug here. We're not trying to advocate for that. You said PPC. Okay. Just make sure.
Yep.
My 2-year-old, I can see, is now looking like he's got to go pee. But go ahead. So what is what is the difference between the PPC and the SEO, and why does that matter?
So the difference between the two is essentially they're both, think of them as a coin. They're both different sides of the same coin. PPC is generating traffic to your site through paid
Okay.
alternatives such as Google Ads, Microsoft Ads. You can also use Facebook ads as well. And then SEO is more of the organic side of generating traffic. And that is through website optimization. And that would just help you rank organically on certain queries that people might type in. And that is essentially the difference between the two. And if you utilize a combination of both, or maybe one or the other, that will help you in your marketing strategy for your business.
Okay. All right. Let me ask this question then. Why does it the original a business that is looking to do any kind of marketing, what would the advantages of PPC and the search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO, what advantages does that help as opposed to a person who says, I'm not going to go that tradition, that, that expert route?
Can you repeat that last part?
So somebody else who's cheap, you know what I mean? Let's just say they don't want to spend a dime, as opposed to a business that's willing to invest in, PPC and a quality search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO. What are the two routes? What's the advantages of using that versus, because, people hear that all the time. You're like, well, what does it matter? What does it rank in? How does that help a business propel itself forward?
Yeah. So when it comes to SEO, for example, I'll start off there. SEO, there's a few benefits on this one. SEO is more for long-term strategy. And essentially it helps you. And by long-term strategy, I mean, think of it as 6 months to 12 months. Like, this is a long thought out strategy for you to implement. And SEO is cost effective compared to PPC. It also gives you sustainable results, and it can help you build your brand authority, and it can help build credibility and trust for your brand, for your business, because that's very important whenever you're trying to sell or whenever you're trying to sell your service or your products. And think of PPC as much more immediate. You'll get immediate results literally the moment your campaigns are live. And obviously the PPC side of it is you're spending money based off of users clicking on your ad.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So starting out entrepreneur, where are you guiding towards? Let's just put you in the driver's seat. You're a starting entrepreneur and you have full control over the utilization of utilizing PPC and SEO. How do you format that? What way would what would be your strategy when you set like campaign and advertising?
The first thing I would do if I was in that position is I would make sure I have a website, because essentially the website is the heart of any digital marketing effort, whether PPC or SEO. You want to make sure that you have a website. And I would lean more on the SEO route simply because it's more cost effective, and I can attribute my dollars into other resources that you might have, whether it's networking or going to your Chamber of Commerce, going to your BNI. I think money on that would make much more sense to deploy that money in there. And then through that SEO strategy, you're essentially optimizing your site for people being able to. So let's say, for example, with like Ancestry Lands, you want your website to show up for people who are looking for land investing. And then you have a blog that talks about the benefits of land investing. And then you come up, right? So those are things that you can do in the meantime. And as your business starts to grow, as you start to enter into your 5K a month, 10K, 15, or, 100K, that's always the goal.
I would love that.
You can start to interweave much more of your PPC strategy there. And then that would just simply amplify your results. Think of PPC as creatine, right?
Got it.
Your workout, it needs your nutrition, your sleep, your workouts. And then after you ingest that creatine, you start getting bigger.
Well, how about blood doping? Because, we're in the Olympic.
Yeah.
The Olympics are about to happen. So I would say blood doping. You know how people are running 9 flats? It's like we're almost entering in super metahuman era now. Okay. So, and Ancestry Lands has already hit some of those markers too as well. I wanted to, with that, I've always heard that websites are dead. That having a website is not as important anymore because of social media. And I'm not going to give my personal opinion. I'm gonna let you go first, but you said that having a website is the heart of an entrepreneur beginning that journey into business, why is that more important? And why are people saying the websites are dead? It's not important for a business. Why would you say that is important then? A little bit more than just being the heart.
Yeah, I would say it gives you one, brand recognition and brand authority. That's something
Right.
that's always asked. It's almost as if in your personal life, it's your number, it's your phone number.
Right.
Think of your website as the phone number to your business. You never walking around without having a phone number and email personally, you might look at that person a little strange, but especially if they have a website or a business, you're like, oh, well, what's your website? I'll check it out. And you don't have one, someone might be like, oh, well, how do you do business? Right. So this is like, think of this as your way to establish that trust and that authority. I think that is one of the most important things. And a little bit into SEO, you want to make sure your website's secure, your website is appealing, it's user friendly. These things all attribute to that foundation of brand authority for you. So I'd always recommend websites aren't going away anytime soon.
Right. Okay. All right. So when you say SEO, right, what are some of the things that matter? Like I have Ancestry Lands, of course, the person that I'm competing with, my for Star Wars fans out there, my Galactic Empire, I'm like the rebels of Star Wars, and I'm fighting against Ancestry, which is, genetics, that stuff. They're the bigger name. So what the name of like having a website, is the name important?
Yes, I would say it is. The name is important. Also within your website, I would say another thing that's important is making sure that it's secured. I'm sure whenever you type in on a website and you see like HTTPS, or sometimes you go on a site and it says unsecured, you're going to quickly leave that site. Even you'll never check through it just because you don't want to get a virus on your computer or on your phone. So that's, basic things to have there as well as making sure that it loads fast. Right. You want to make sure that it doesn't take too long to load. People have short with the attention span turning more instant and a lot more quicker. People would just leave right there. So,
yeah. Gotcha. So one of the things I struggle with, man, is the names of websites. Can we just touch on that for a minute? A good name is not, Brotherhood of Love nation.com !backpack.org. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I started Ancestry Lands, I was going through a few names, and you're like 40 acres and a mule. How do you spell that? Numbers, things like that. What are some general guidelines that you can talk about when a person is creating a website? And again, to challenge people who say websites is dead, Nike has a website, Reebok, Chick-fil-A has a website. Websites have apps now. So I don't know if you all realize that whoever's telling you that is really misleading you. And we obviously have an expert up here to tell you otherwise, that you do need a website. It is a calling card, and it's a check mark to me of those when you're speaking to people who have a business. And Josh, you can always say, am I right on that? I'm looking for certain indicators to vet a person if they are a legitimate business person at all. You know what I mean? I want to know they have a website. I want to know if they have an LLC. Do they have business checking? When you want to see people who have more than just the www. Find me, only me, fan me, and you want to see that they actually conduct business and they have some business acumen, which is the key word for today. Would you agree with that statement?
Absolutely. I would 100% agree. That is vital. That is vital for your marketing strategy, and for the longevity of your business, and just being able to retain that name on a digital platform.
What do you think is important in getting a higher SEO name? Well, a few things. I don't want again, the whole point of this, folks, is for people to go and pay Josh for the game he's giving us today for more expert tips and tricks and things like that, so he can take you to the next level. But what are some things that you could give away that are advice, counsel, to get people understanding the art of naming a website? So it makes it easier for you, because you want to give you boogienights.com. That's my website, Josh. Here, make me a millionaire. And you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? You sell flowers. This doesn't match up. You know what I mean? Now, if you're selling, adult lifestyle, that might have more appealing. So, what things could you kind of how can people make it easier for you to propel them to success with in relation to SEO?
Yeah, I would say to add on to what you mentioned, make sure that your website name, I'm also assuming that your business name is links to the product or service that you do. You don't want them to be disconnected. So with Ancestry Lands, it already gives me an indicator that there's something of land here. There's something of real estate here.
Right.
And you start to piece it together. The name of the website matches the name of the business, matches what you your product or your service. So you want to have that chain there. Within the website piece of it, a bit of I would say, I touched on these points before, but you really want to make sure your website's secure. You want to make sure that it is user friendly. It's not hard to navigate through it. It's not hard to figure out what the user's trying to do. They understand what they are, like what the website is and where they're at. And let's say you sell a product or a service as well through that site. You want to make sure that you have things such as secure, like a secure logo, or your data is protected. And these things help again with the authority of that, because people, let's say you're selling a product, people are typing in their name, their credit card or debit card information. They want to make sure that it's secure. I would say, so that's important. That's the important piece, is just the safety element, and then also providing value in that site. Even though some people might argue blogs are dead, but I think, having that is just a win. It's think of that as a feather in your cap. Think of that as a handkerchief in your suit. It adds the complete, it shows your expertise, and it adds that value, and it adds that formation to that final look on that site.
Okay, good. One of the things that I did want to say, and thank you for that little nod with how evident Ancestry Lands, it kind of gives you an indication. I'm going to quote Jay-Z when he said, "A CEO's mind, that marketing plan with me." Just to throw that out there a little bit for all the people claiming that they, gave me startup money, So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, when you said about brand awareness, and I think we'll get into the security factors or security features. I think you're impressing on two things that I can make the listeners understand. There's one, the security of your site, for you to be able to have a website for yourself that's you're able to sell your products through. And then there's the other one for the end user, the people who are going and buying products and services, to be secure for. And this is going to be for a lot of the small business owners, people who are coming up and have aspirations. And you're in your 20s, right? Do you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I say you're in your 20s, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so young 20-year-olds trying to get up into business that think it's going to be easy. It seems they got a few things to really think about that maybe should be done up front. Do you agree? Or because to me, it was like, you think about a business like, I got this thing I want to do. I got this great idea. And people skip this process of thinking about, what is my company's name going to be? What is the website going to be? What is our logo going to be? What is our brand going to look like? And it represents, because to me, at least what you're saying, if I could bring that into an understanding for people, is that your brand is going to be a more visual representation of you that is going to help you when it turns into a digital conversion. Would you say that's right on the money, or no?
Yeah, I would say so. And to coin to your business acumen, I remember you even talked about this on your YouTube, in one of your YouTube videos. It's understanding that, one, it's the long game. This isn't a quick scheme. And I think if you treat digital marketing this way, you will pay a price of either spending money for no reason if you're doing PPC, or just not having a good strategy when it comes to SEO. So always think long term at this, but also treat it like how you would when you treated your business initially. You had the business idea, you were going through the business plan, you're going through the marketing plan, you're making sure that you're doing all the legal requirements of getting the SEO, not the SEO, but the LLC, and getting your bank account, getting your business bank account, getting an account. So there's pieces that you got to do before you even get the ball rolling. So to add on to what you've mentioned, it is a long game strategy.
Okay, question now. if people skip those steps, how are they hurting themselves? Because you have somebody be like, oh man, he don't know what the hell he talk about. You know, Josh don't know nothing. Phil don't know nothing either. I'm gonna go do it my way. What do you say for those people who are they want to skip the line and skip the steps? What are they doing, and where does that hurt them long term?
Yeah, I had a lot of conversations with people who have skipped steps when it comes to PPC and SEO. And with PPC, for example, I actually worked with a business on a contract when it came to understanding. They focused on design for school, so they were a college essentially that was focused on design, and they skipped a lot of process for their PPC element. And obviously they focus on UX, they focus on UI or digital drawings and things of that nature. I go into their campaigns and I'm seeing that they're coming up for terms of how to draw, and they're spending a lot of money on this. Now you initially might think, well, it's related, but think of who might be typing how to draw. It might be a kid typing that. So you're showing up for a kid, and that kid is clicking on your ad and you're spending money on that, and you can't get a refund once it's done. Right. So, and even on the SEO side of things, you might be skipping these steps. And now what ends up happening is you're not showing up for that specific search term that people might be typing up on Google. You might be on page 10 now. So now you're not even visible. And how many people have passed page 2? I don't even know how many people go fully through page 1. So so you're just hurting yourself. You're just cheating yourself. And I would never recommend that. I have stories on how people try to take shortcuts on this, and it's bad.
Yeah, I would say that it sounds like if you're not trying to consider starting a business like a hustle, like this is a side gig or something like that, and you're really looking to establish a legitimate business LLC that either has a digital side or a physical side or both, you're going to really have to spend some time, like you said, setting these things up front. And that's where you do come in, because you offer services to help and assist people with these. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. And tell me what is it, or just get into a few things, because we got other things to talk about as well. When a person right now is like, okay, man, I never thought about that. Thanks, Josh. You're giving me some game right now. So if I were to call you right now, what should I ask you? What should I engage with you? What should I expect from you in that exchange?
Sure. So let's run through that example. So let's say I do get a call, right? They watch this video, they get a ton of value. They're like, hey, Philip, who's this guy?
Let's just do a CEO from CrowdStrike calls you and say, hey, Josh, look, when we messed up, everybody, they don't want it all. They want it right now. And we don't know. What was the guy? Let me drink some water and everything. And he's like, the whole globe done shut down. That guy calls you, go ahead.
Yeah. I'd ask them very general questions first. Did they ever run Google ads before? And if they have, then I would get access to their account and I'd run an audit. Same thing with SEO. Have they ever implemented any SEO strategies, or if there's a if they have a web guy or computer guy there for them dedicated, and I'll ask them, just general questions on what they've done so far. And it's just getting an audit, right? So it's like let's say you're treating a patient. You can't treat the patient if you don't know what they need to be treated for. Right. You got to go through basic things of checking their heart rate, asking them general questions. And then when you go through it, then the pain points. Oh, okay. Let's say for SEO, let's say your website's not secured. Oh, well, that's simple. Then it can be an easy fix. And or let's say they're doing Google ads, for example. Oh, well, you're not targeting to your intended demographic. That can be a quick fix there. So it's just it's getting a general sense and seeing, okay, let's see, going through things of the structure of Google ads or the structure of their site, and then kind of zoning in little by little, going page by page or going campaign by campaign, and then seeing, very similar to nursing, because I know you have experience in nursing, that you're a nurse. So it's just going
years, baby.
Yeah. So it's just seeing that. You're not just going to say, oh, well, that's that, and then you give them the wrong medication.
Oh, yeah. No, I've been doing nursing so long, I'm about to become a patient soon. That's they be like, hey, man, when you take care of me 5 years ago? Yeah. Why are you in the bed next to me? Yeah, I know, bro. Right? I know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No. So and folks, it does it to be a little bit more, in the serious note. If you think that a small business or a big business is, they don't have the same struggles like what Josh is outlining here. Look at CrowdStrike right now. I mean, man, that right now just shows you one little thing. Their stock went down. Their business is, I mean, they're talking about Linux conversions over there. I mean, you can't right now in the business world, no one wants to even touch them. And I'm going to let you know here, out in this Philly area, the University of Pennsylvania hospital system was down, and I couldn't reach doctors. I couldn't talk, their whole system was down. And that was just in the Pennsylvania area, in the Philly area. And it got into, could you imagine that one of the biggest hospital systems in the country has been affected? And that's just one of many. And it took their stock down. So imagine if you're that CEO tonight, right, Josh? You're like, and that happened on your watch. You're getting that call, and everybody from government dignitaries to, strippers to, maybe not them, but just people of the ladies of the night, to doctors and nurses are like, what is going on, to patients who can't even access their app information or banking information nonetheless. You know what I mean? They're going through it too. So we're trying to prevent you all from having some similar missteps, maybe not as much as CrowdStrike, but in similar pathways, parallels, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, that's a lesson for the whole world, that you really have to understand that even the mighty can fall. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. Yep. And we see that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what have you heard about we can just tap on that a little bit. Have you heard anything about, from your side and your industry, what things have you taken away from that experience?
Yeah. So to actually add on top of what you just talked about here, one of the things that we've done is we create a strategy within some of our clients to ensure that our ads don't come up for people typing that, right? So let's say we might be servicing a business that is focused on tech, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tech related, or they might be cybersecurity. You want to make sure that your ads are not showing up for that headline or at all, right? Yeah. So it was just already thinking on how can this impact the business, as well as, let's say, for banks were affected as well, or let's say you're a hospital. And the system's down, but your ads are still running, so you're spending money. So it's the decision: do we pause this? Do we stop in it for how long, or do we keep this going and take the chance? So it was luckily with the clients that I work with, they didn't have those experiences. We'll check on Monday to see how performance is on that, but yep.
I can only imagine a hospital commercial going out at that time and the system's down. Your daughter, you care for us. The old Sally Struthers commercials with she's the only one that looks like she's eating, and everyone else is starving. Like, if you just would have given us that sandwich earlier, we might have, our bellies wouldn't be sticking out this way. But any which way. Okay, so let me ask you a few questions here. Okay, with the PPC, you said the PPC is a little bit more immediate, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so when you're starting out on when a website is initially launched, the PPC, which I know we talk about CrowdStrike and people are losing their minds right now. We're not talking about PCP. We don't want you going to doing that. We want PPC. Yeah. What is PPC, and what is it? Why does it help immediately when you start on a website?
So essentially, let's say you have your website, right, and you're already running your ads. You target keywords for your ads, for example. So let's say someone is typing in
big booty woman. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay, no. We the CrowdStrike. I didn't mean to. But go ahead.
Let's say you're typing in. Let's say, what's a good one?
Drake versus Kendrick Lamar.
Sure. Sure. Let's say you're typing that up in there, and then obviously throughout that time you're getting a lot of volume because everyone knew that Kendrick slayed Drake on that last one.
Hey! You live close to Canada, man. Don't let the brothers come down there and scoop you up. Go ahead.
And And yeah, so it's just so seeing that, for example, right? Let's say you have a website that might talk about that related, and you have those
Right.
specific keywords,
Okay.
and someone types in that keyword, that ad shows up because you're targeting that keyword.
Nice.
And then your ad shows when they click the
Uh-huh.
site or they click that ad, it takes them to your site or what your intended, whatever your intended product or service is. So just getting a little bit more serious note, you don't
Right.
want to target your landing page. You want to target the specific product or service page that you have. You might have a dedicated landing page too. So I would just say
Right.
like that would be the process of it.
Okay. So it's like more if I'm looking for something in particular, I want to be able to find that exact item as opposed to just the
Yeah.
general website, right? Is that I might be messing that up.
Can you repeat that?
No, I was saying that is it more of like when I'm, you want to, I don't know, because every time I say something, I feel like my phone is showing me exactly what I said. The phone listens better than my wife. You know, I'll say I want this, and it shows up on my phone when I'm using the bathroom, and I'm like, why is this here right now? And then I click, and it takes me right to that exact thing that I was talking about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, so that I'm not sure if that's actually confirmed or not. So I don't know about whenever you talk about something and then it comes up on your phone. I don't know that
Hold on,
that
you
is
mean
like
my
a
wife don't
myth that our
listen? They'll
Google.
listen better than the phone? Is that what you're saying? You don't know if that's confirmed? I'm telling you, it's confirmed.
Yeah. Well, that I'm not. that
Don't watch
I
this
can't answer
video.
that
Hopefully,
one.
my
But
wife doesn't see this. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad. Don't
but
worry about the wife thing. I'll have to handle her later.
yeah, no, all good, all good. But let's say so to your point, whenever let's say you search something, what you're
Right.
typing in is whatever you're not. I would say that's more on the ad focus. Let me think.
Okay.
When you're typing something in, so let's say you're a bank account, you're a
Right.
business that is that opens checking accounts. Your
Mhm.
keyword can be looking to open a checking account, or checking accounts
Got it.
near me, or checking
Right.
account banks. Those keywords, you're trying to find a problem. You're trying to find a
Right.
solution to your problem.
Right.
And that's where you can highlight that, as well as within the Google Ads platform. There's this feature. It's free within the platform. It's called Keyword Planner. And what you can do is you can type in keywords, or let's say you throw in your landing page, you throw in your website in there. It'll
Right.
kind of scroll through keywords that it's seeing, and then it would give you a search volume forecast to show you how many people are searching for that and how many
Right.
competitors are also targeting those keywords.
Okay. That's nice. Well, that explains, a lot of anybody, even for content creators, that seems like that's the same thing that's being used there. Okay.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
what about, okay, so I know we got to cover this part because everybody's going to ask about this part. Phil, what are you going to tell us about Monica Lewinsky? No, what's the price of this all? What are we talking about now? This is like the for the PPP. I'm saying it. Am I saying PPP loans? Dang, the PPC component is that part. Where would you say the budget should be focused at in a new business? Because everybody's gonna be like, man, this sounds like just like 10,000-15,000, man. I got that kind of money. And how does a person make this a little bit more budget controlled or budget friendly, if that's a word to use?
Yeah, I would say one, it depends on the product or service that you sell. So obviously, the bigger the value of your product or service, the more likely the spend of your advertising dollars it would be. So that can range from $2,000 a month to $10,000 a month to more. Again, that depends on the product or service that you sell and the value that you earn when someone spends that money. So that's a big key indicator there. And also, as well, one of the things that, and this is to have expectations, the smaller your budget is, you also have to understand you might get smaller results or mid-sized results. So don't think that you're going to get a unicorn amount of results off of a small budget. So that I would keep that expectation level-headed. And people do see success, but being real.
Yeah, that people think they can spend lottery money You know, I'm gonna play $1 and hit the Mega Millions, right?
Yeah.
I think the Jersey one is like, did anybody win that one? I heard it was like the one in Jersey is like $251 million.
Yeah.
Boy, I would disappear in a heartbeat. Just wife would be like, where's daddy? You know, nah, I take my children with me. Anyway, try next one here. So is starting small and growing bigger a better approach when using the PPC, or is it more of like you just need to just, you know, spend gentleman clubs money, you know, just bring out the racks and the stacks and just let it fly, make it rain?
Yeah, I would say start small,
Okay.
and think of it as investing. Think of these are the dollars that you are okay with risking.
Okay.
I would think of it that way. Like, this is money that you don't need for the next 90 days. Your wife doesn't need them. Your girlfriend doesn't need it. Your kids
Right.
don't need it. So you don't need
about
it.
my girlfriend, man.
So I would say think of it that way, and then have a testing period. And that testing period can be a quarter. I would definitely say give it time to see if it works and if it's beneficial for you. Because it might not be beneficial for you at that time, at the state of your business, but maybe you can revisit that in your near future when you achieve more growth.
Okay.
And then from there, you can gradually start to increase that spend when you're starting to see that return on investment.
Okay. And does you, because I know we mentioned Google, but does that hit the social media aspect too, as far as where that advertising and marketing flows into? Because I don't want people to think that this is just will be a Google only, you know, this will be that only domain where it will be accessible from, right?
Correct. Yeah. So the Google is obviously the head honcho. It's Google. The majority of businesses pour in their money into Google, but there is also Microsoft Bing's, or we call them Bing ads as well. So that's another thing. Yeah.
Don't say Microsoft. It's like Voldemort now, you know, it's like Microsoft. No, they're going to come. Everything's going to go off like my lights will flicker, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I would say that one is a lot cheaper and a lot more affordable compared to Google. Typically businesses that are, you know, your Nike or, you know, your AAA title businesses,
Right.
They would spend more on Google. Like they'll say, like, let's say they'll put 75% of their budget on Google and 25% of their budget on Bing. But those aren't the only platforms, to your point. There's Facebook ads as well. There's Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads. Pretty much every single social media platform, including YouTube, which this video is going to be on. There's ads. You probably saw ads just pass by throughout this whole video. Oh, don't skip them. Watch them. So,
yeah.
But and the reason why I say that is so Phil can get some AdSense money.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get that anyway though, but you know, skip the ones on CrowdStrike though. You know.
Yeah.
Wow, they are a whipping boy right now. Good gosh. I would hate to be that guy, right? His wife probably left him like, you piece of you know. Yeah. All my nail appointments were canceled because of you, you know.
Yes.
It's like, what? That's what you're worried about? You know. Okay, so here's another question. Negative words that should not be used, things that can hurt a brand. And that doesn't mean saying something out your mouth, but just things that a person should steer clear of when they're using SEO. And the other one I was going to ask, let me ask you this then. Do you, in what your services you offer, in my mind, my services would just go everywhere, but some people have certain things that are more particular to certain social media sites a little bit better. Do you steer people to that, for that, give them that, here's where you want to kind of heavily spend your advertising, as opposed to somewhere like maybe not Facebook just because they're big, like where they could have true success?
Correct. Yeah. I would say throughout, like, let's say we're having that conversation, one of the questions I'd ask you is just what are your unique selling propositions, and who's your targeted demographic? Because every social media platform or search engine platform, there's a specific demographic or whatever product or service that you sell. That all plays a factor into seeing which engine or which social media platform makes the most sense for you to test on, and to see if it makes for results, if it's beneficial for you. Because not every single platform might work for every single business. There's more platforms that might work on another. You might still see some results on one, but you might see a lot more on another. So that is a factor when it comes to that. And that entails on the business, on the product or service that you sell.
Yeah. I think I saw on my LinkedIn profile, I had to kind of change up the strategy because, YouTube can be a little looser, but LinkedIn will be more like professionals. So, not everything flies, but I think even like what you're saying is that like even on my Facebook, I'll be in groups and I'll see just this odd post of something that doesn't go in that group. And everyone's asking like, how is this in this group? And it seems like that's kind of the same thing. It came from a poster who's putting something in there to promote someone's product that has nothing to do with that central group. So that post there is really going to get flagged and it's not going to have the intended result. And you really need to have people in place that are not just doing anything, they're doing something with that, what I call qualified outcome. So, and again, let's talk a little bit about what you do, how people reach you, and what can you do for them? Because we're talking about the services you provide, but what they're going to say, okay, well, how does that relate to me? Can you speak to that? I'm gonna let you have the floor, and please tell people where they can find you, where they can locate you at, and things like that. So that way, people have a way to reach to you, and then I'll make sure that's in the description section below, so people can find you.
So I think so. If you want to find me, my LinkedIn is obviously Joshua Baez. My Instagram is JB.
Oh, you gotta spell it because people from New York got weird. They got Y's where U's are, I's are E's, and you know what I mean. Just
I
lived in New York.
The biblical and Joshua, the biblical, and Baez. Think of Bay and then add a Z to it.
Okay, hey, baby. Okay, got it. All right, cool. All right, we'll put it. We'll make sure we spell it down and spell it correctly. And okay, because but I've met people say it's like Yasuela. I'm like, what? Yeah. Can I borrow a vowel? So start with I, lowercase j. It was like, no, it's with an L. I'm like, what? Yeah. Any which way, I love New York though. But go ahead.
Yeah. And then Instagram is JB Paid Media, and my email is JB Paid Media as well. And my website is under construction. Is going through a Mark II, to quote Iron Man. So once that's all set there, it'll look nice, but it's under construction. But once it comes up, using my SEO strategies, it's gonna look real pretty.
All right, man. You better be coming through like Iron Man when he got the second suit, man. It's like coming through the bling bling. He's like, what does he say? Does it come in red? Okay, good. And so when businesses are starting out, what can they expect from you? Like small business, like go back to when I was Ancestry Lands some years ago, and I was looking to be where I'm at now. And that's for you. That's for other businesses like Chakra Soups. That shout out to Corey over there in Jersey. Where can you help these small businesses that are local and somewhat digital that offer a product and services? What can they anticipate from you with your services if they have the right things in place to help you make them successful?
And to add on to what there was a keyword that you mentioned there, which was local, and then there's an SEO element called local SEO, and that's essentially creating same strategy as implementing a strategy that is tailored to getting your business out there in your local area. So let's say you're a fitness business, right? You're a local gym, and you want to make sure, obviously, you have your site. What we talked about, secure, it's user friendly, but you might also want to add a Google My Business there as well, right? That huge list on the right side of the search engine. Whenever you type in, and it shows the map of where your business is, it shows reviews, it has your business's phone number, your business's website, and you're taking all that real estate up. Even though that's a term Ancestry Lands uses, we also use that word too as real estate. You want to take up as much real estate as you can on that page, and you're just everywhere. You're on the left side of that search page, you're on the right side, and it's your eyes are diverting everywhere for that user. So I would say that, and then from there, it's slowly building on top of that, and just making sure that we're implementing the best practices on the SEO front, and then just compiling it on slowly but surely, and then having a foolproof SEO optimized site, to generate quality traffic, not just traffic, but traffic intended for your business, for your product or service, for you to succeed.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you help all businesses, or is it just, I want to know what businesses you can't help, because I think that some people may say, well, I don't know how that would fit for me. Would most businesses be able to come to you if they have the things in place and you utilize them? Like, it's not just the land or real estate thing. You could help a sneaker company, you could help a Nike, you could help a CrowdStrike, for if you're going to go back to them. You could help Joe Biden on his campaign, with the speaking stuff that's going on,
Yeah. No, I would say for me, I'm always open to having that conversation and that discovery call to see if this implementation is even makes sense. Because before we even get into the nitty gritty, we have to make sure that this marketing strategy, this piece of the puzzle, makes sense to incorporate into your business, because not everything makes sense for your business. So first it's touching on that. And then, but for me, I have experience on a few different industries. I have experience within the banking industry, within the aerospace industry, within metalworking. So like more of the blue collar industry as well. Laundry, right? So I have experience there. So I do have a few colleges as well. So there's and gyms. So I do have a few industries that I'm a bit well versed in, that I got in the back of my pocket. So I can definitely provide some value. And even if we don't have that conversation where we're working together, just being able to have that discovery call to see how it works is and to see how this can fit into your business. Maybe it might not work now, but just having that idea in your head and having that strategy for your future, that will yield a whole lot of benefit for you, for your business going forward.
Nice, man. That's good. All right, folks. Well, folks, I think we're going to call that it for today. I hope you all have learned everything. I want to actually thank Josh for coming and taking the time, his time, to come out. And again, just tell everybody where they can reach you and everything else like that. So the people who just might come in later or be looking for to miss that part, where they can find you at and where they could use, at least have the discovery call with you.
Yeah. So you could definitely reach to me on my email, jbpaidmedia@gmail.com. And then from there, we can email, schedule a time, and then book a call. My Instagram is jbpaidmedia as well. And
Paid media,
website.
Paid.
Yep.
Okay, get paid. He ain't for free. Got it. Go ahead. Say that again. JB Paid Media.
Not JB Media. JB. JB Paid Media.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you. Go ahead. I just want to make sure people know who you ain't coming in here and talking about this $5 hollers. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. And but in the other programs, my website will be out soon, so then I would be able to drop that in as well. And I think I'm trying to see if there's any other platforms. Those are the platforms. Oh wait, I have a YouTube channel. I almost forgot about my YouTube channel.
Jeez, man, we got to work on his SEO promotion.
On my YouTube, yeah. All right, let me. Yeah, my YouTube channel is my name. My YouTube channel is my name.
Very easy, right? And you could probably just Google his name and find him, because he's that SEO. Folks, Ancestry Lands, Phil Davis. Listen, I'm going to close it out here, folks. As I continue to evolve, to rise, to expand, gentlemen just like Josh that are younger, from people like Don Coombs to Avon Coburn, to people that I have interviewed so many times along the way. These are people that you have access to. What I'm doing is bringing people from all walks of life that interact with me, and I'm showing you that you can utilize my network to build your network. And the best thing you can do is take advantage, not just listen and watch, but take advantage, reach out to Josh, use his services, and also give us some feedback on how those services went, so we can also bring that to other people and have Josh back on to talk about some of the successes and things that he's learned and advanced on to bring you more knowledge and value, folks. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands. Don't forget, go to my book. Is on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt. And go to Ancestry Lands where you can find property. And remember, folks, you either own property or you'll be owned as property. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, and I'm out. Peace.
Are you confused with today's real estate market? With high interest rates and overpriced housing, it can be hard to find something to own at the right price. Available on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt by author Philip H. Davis is a game-changing book that invites you to embark on a thrilling exploration of this often overlooked asset class. This book is your roadmap to unlocking the secrets of vacant land investment. Inside these pages, you will uncover the transformative power of vacant land as a wealth-building tool. Discover how to spot promising properties, assess their true value, and capitalize on market trends. From understanding zoning and permits to leveraging financing strategies, you'll gain the knowledge and confidence to make savvy investment decisions. With each page you turn, you'll gain a deeper understanding of the profound impact your investments can have on the world around you. Getting Dollars from Dirt is not just a guidebook, it's a call to action. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a curious novice, this book will empower you to tap into the immense potential of vacant land and embark on a journey toward financial freedom and a brighter future.